Good morning and welcome to a very special 100th anniversary of Raoul's house. I've tried to make that sound far more dramatic than it probably is. But yeah, it is. It is 100 videos since I started doing this. Unbelievable, isn't it, really? I'm on the ground floor, that's where I am. The reason you're looking at this book is it was one of the many books. Well, there are thousands of books left by my father, but there's one or two I picked out I thought I might want to look at. I'm not sure about the Disney studio story. Oh look, Holy Mills. It's definitely Holy Mills. Yes, and who's that? Is that from the Johnny Weissmuller stuff? Don't know. Lady and the Tramp, huh? Yeah. So anyway, I'm down here, reorganising all my tools, stacking them up again, getting them into some kind of semblance, and clearing a bit of room so that when my furniture comes in a couple of weeks, anything that I don't get upstairs immediately, I've got somewhere to put it, and then it's all swept out and mopped, which is kind of where I'm at today. But yes, it is the 100th anniversary of Raoul's house, you know, and we've come a long way. I'm now on the ground floor and I'll be starting on the landing, the hallway, and into this front room, and the back room will get left till last. There's a suite in there, believe it or not, settee, covered over with a dust sheet, which will eventually come in here. So what I've done, I've gone over the last 100 videos, and it's been a bit time consuming, but I've picked out what I think were the highlights of the last 100 videos, some funny bits, some major milestones in terms of getting this house from its previous condition, which was pretty bad. And I think that's where we'll start. So, enjoy.
Well, I thought I'd pop over and visit my friend Steve, but he's not very well. Look at you, Steve. You're in your bathrobe. What's going on?
I've been feeling a bit ill, so I'm self-isolating. It gives me a chance to catch up on episodes of Ralph's house.
This is the mystery. It's what's behind those tiles. Is there even any plaster behind it?
Used to say.
It's
a mystery.
It's a mystery. I've just got here this morning, and hopefully at some point today I can chisel the plaster around the outside of this and find the anchor points for this fireplace, because that's normally how they're mounted to a chimney breast. A bit far gone, that one. Only one remedy for that: angle grinder. Right, here we go. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was only anchored at the top. So I'm about halfway through, so I thought I'd stop now and just show you where I am before I pull it down. Words of encouragement.
What's yours? These carry handles are brilliant. Fantastic.
You do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Just to welcome to Ralph's house, not
Ralph's
House, yes.
Yeah.
After and only after the word paint.
Tin.
Go on. No, just go for it.
Ready?
Take one.
Welcome to
Ralph's
Right.
left hand only.
Left hand only.
It's left hand. It's left hand.
Why left hand?
Because that's the logo.
Yeah.
Let's ignore that.
Have you watched how many years of videos have you watched?
No,
You doing that?
Dad.
Right, you ready?
Dad, put it down. Let it go. Put it down. Let go.
Right.
You've got to do
Dad, shut up. I've got the dog. Ready?
Right.
No, leave it.
Just stop it.
No, not yet.
The dog's leg's shaking.
Welcome to Ralph's house.
I was going to come in and talk about the electrics and why I am rewiring the whole house. Lots of reasons, not the least of which is that old fuse box. My dad did all this, and you see what I mean? Oh, this is just some of the shed wiring. I mean, that's an old fuse box. I'm sure it works, but it's pretty old. Well, I think what I need to do is concentrate on lighting. I have at the moment got the old electric system running here, and I'm going to put the fuse box in later today, as you'll see. Just cut that pipe off. But what I need to do really, I think, is go up in the loft and strip out all the old lighting cable, which all seems to be single wires, not twin and earth, certainly. So I think it was probably done in the 1950s, 60s. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all that out, so I won't have any lighting upstairs at all. My challenge is to work out how I'm going to go from this fuse box to the upstairs lights. I haven't found a route for that yet. And just the first of the cables is through, albeit on a temporary socket. I can't actually loop them in because I don't want to work with live cables, so I'm just leaving that one socket. This cable, this loose one, will go under here, into that socket, out of that socket, across and over to these two sockets. It's too big.
Things going.
He looked at the one I'd picked up and said no. He's got a very small one that fits in a vanity unit.
Do you mean a sink?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got a very small.
A very small one.
That's making me shake my camera. What I've done is, with the wiring in this house, to be able to gain access to it, every cable run through all these rooms is complete. There are no junctions, there are no connections, other than, you know, where spotlights will be, obviously, but you can get to those from underneath. So anywhere anything terminates will all be on this top landing. So you can literally lift the one board and get access to any of the wiring downstairs. That seems sensible. A good thing to carry about when you're doing this kind of work is one of those, because at least you know what's live and what isn't. So I'll chisel that out, and this is for the two-way switching. This is the landing light, and you've obviously got to be able to turn it on at the bottom. So my cable is going to come up somewhere under the boards there, along here, and up there.
While you're sitting on the loo, you could be waving at Phil, because that'd be pleasant for Phil, wouldn't it?
It would. He'd be reassured to know you were sat on the loo.
To say you were thinking about him, you know, as you were there.
What do you think of it so far, Steve? I thought that was going to be here forever.
What that?
Yeah.
You thinking you're going to have to sleep in it?
All right, leave it on.
Don't worry, I'm on my way to Ralph's house.
Here's a thought for you. Apparently, you can't use the word beef stew as a password.
What?
Do you know why?
Why?
Go on.
It's not stroganoff. Yeah, a bit dusty. But, so I'm speaking through my face mask. Oh, well, that's those put through.
You want to get to Ralph's house? Really? What do you reckon? Yes, let's go to Ralph's house.
Oh, I say!
Hey, he's a fit bugger, isn't he?
Okay.
No wonder you've got a smile on your face, Lib. Yes, look at that wet nose. Yeah, and the plumber's done all his first fixings, got his stuff in. And the shower is going to go on this wall. But after a discussion with the plasterer, and I thought this might happen, this lath and plaster wall needs to go. Lucky enough, and I didn't realise this, the other side's already boarded. So it makes sense to get rid of this and board this side as well. So rather than increase the cost too much, I said, that's all right, I'll take it off. Bathroom fitting day 2. Some of the plasterboards here. Hot and cold pipes for the shower. A nice mixer bar to go on there.
Hi, I'm Jimmy the Tiler. Welcome to Ralph's house. I'll put my prices up now. Fuck this. There's me line. Believe me, if it was fucking complicated, I wouldn't be doing it.
Tell you what, you wouldn't want to eat that porridge. Bathroom tiling going well. Floor tiles are in. Look at that. Yeah, I know they look a bit grey and washed out. Obviously going to be cleaned off, but they have been grouted right through now.
Welcome to Ralph's house.
So basically, bathroom's finished. It has a temporary door on, like that, until we fit the sliding door mechanism, which is there. Again, not a priority job. See, look, Steve's fit this whole ceiling on his own. They're only tiers once. Yeah, that's easy enough. That'll give me a job to do Monday.
And the bottom round.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a laugh plaster wall, isn't it? So.
What a beautiful day. The sun is shining. The
Skies are blue.
The sweat is dripping down my head. But hey ho. Steve, where would you want to be right this minute?
I'd rather be at home drinking a nice glass of wine. Where would you rather be, Amanda?
I'd rather be at Ralph's house.
Copper cylinders going. Bye, Steve and Libby. Angle grind these two brackets off, which I've been saying for ages I'm going to do, which I can do now. Bit of patchwork down here. Fit a board in there. I think it's around somewhere. Probably on the hallway. Yeah. Got work to do up here. There's a slight damp patch up there where the roof leaked at one point. It's got a brand new roof on it, so I shall get all that sorted out. I've got a bit of loose hollow plaster in there. May just PVA it, or I may just pull it out and just replaster that, put some bonding plaster in it again. Not the best tester in the world, but it does the job. As long as I get 2 lights. Yeah, that's the one. If I line up with that, put a spirit level across the top, draw around the box, that's what I've got to cut. Same on this one. I've done this one as well. Because I can tell you bonding plaster is next to impossible to sand because it's tough also, it's very gritty, got a certain element of silica sand in it I think, and grinders don't like that very much. Sanders certainly don't, they just clog up very quickly. So yeah, that'll do, they're all screwed in.
Well, look at all these blooms. Anybody would think it was spring. Well, it is. And it's time for spring cleaning at Ralph's house.
Big thumbs up from
That's
Ralph's
from
house.
Ralph.
From Ralph's
Ralph.
house, yeah,
Yeah.
that's from Ralph himself.
Lip,
Who never appears, you notice.
Lippy's brother, yeah. He may not even be real.
This is me watching paint dry.
Sometimes you have to use ingenious methods. The trouble with this conduit is it tends to do that, so what to do is wedge it in with the screwdriver just so it's below the surface. That's it. And then I can put my bonding plaster in there. Same at the bottom, I have to wedge a screwdriver in there as well.
These great, these Merc trucks. Look, 70 miles an hour. You never get a speeding ticket with this. Whoa, hang on a minute. Okay, now.
Be careful, dear.
Where's my torch? Well, it's warm up here. Well, yes, it's Friday. It's very quiet, but it's time for Yes, indeed. Time's for Ralph's house. So what are we doing? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're getting this paper off the ceiling, which is a challenge. Well, actually, the underneath isn't, but the top is, isn't it, Steve?
That's just come off in one gravy, please, sir.
Yeah.
And we've taken delivery of a sofa today.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we'll show you.
Timber
And paint.
and paint.
Yeah, I have filled it and right around the top and stuff like that and put a mist coat on it. That one is now flat, you know, where the picture rail was. And I've got a couple of coats in yesterday. And I've just been down with the mist coat with the brush along the lower edge. And hopefully that'll dry off by tomorrow.
It's time for Ralph's house.
But we've got plenty of paste, we've got scissors, we've got a pencil, we've got a paste table from... Now, who did that paste table come from? Yes, I think it might have come from... Yes, Steve Pike.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to give thanks to those of us who are working in the fields.
And it is right to give thanks and praise.
For those who are working in factories and shops. And blessed are those working in Ralph's house.
Won't be anything to do in here because I've still got a long way to go in this one. But I did paint a bit today. Yeah, you see that dark line? That's where the plaster's soaking up the paint still. But it's starting to disappear now, that picture rail. Get a few coats on it. Yeah, we're getting there. Right, just stretch the chalk line across the ceiling. And basically what I've got to do is pull that ping in, should leave a nice chalk line. And you want to get your paper just over the edge of the paste table and paste out, not in, because if you paste in you'll end up with paste on that side, you know, where you don't want it. So right, we'll get all that pasted. I'll just give that a good 10 minutes to soak now, so I'll pop that on the other table. Well, I can't say that was easy. I had to fight for it. I think I got about as far as there and struggled with it. I had to take it back down, refold it, then put it back up. But it's all right now. It's in and cut around the edges. I just managed to dash off and find my sharp knife because that was the only way to cut that edge. But at least now I've got a straight edge and I can follow on from that. So wish me luck as I cut the next one. Well, there we go. Really, I've only got that little bit in the bay, there's not a lot to do there. I've got plenty of offcuts for that. I've got a strip here, and I've got a strip about that wide. In fact, slightly wider. I can finish that tomorrow. Definitely, I'm not going to do any more today.
Nice, busy Sunday afternoon. Well, not so busy. A few cars, a few people. Most of them are doing as they're told, staying at home. Lovely view, just the sea. Nothing on it apart from some windmills. Couldn't get much better than this. But you know, I think I'm going to go in and check on Ralph's house.
Right, well I got a chance, I'm going to go, that's my lad. That's him. That's Manda.
Hiya.
Libby, my sister.
Younger.
Young.
Definitely younger.
Only by a year.
Right.
Monty.
Bonjour.
Demelza.
Hello.
And the famous Steve Pike. And Steve has stripped all the way around here, including, look at that sheer drop of 20 feet, when he could have died. So, I should have showed you that. We had a ladder, you know, like a seesaw, precariously balanced, him on one end, and me, being he's on the heavy lump, I was on this end. And there's Phil, mowing his grass, with his lovely yellow lawnmower. I've got to say, this is incredibly quiet. And like everywhere across the country, there's not much that's open. But that's the way it is, isn't it, folks? I mean, I despair. Look at this, the treasure of the Sierra Madre. You know why? Look at this lot under the floorboards. Spaghetti. Look at that. Single core insulated stuff. 1960s, guessing. 50s? Don't know, take a guess at it. But I'll give him his due. He's left us little reminders. This is written by my dad, no doubt about that. All sockets, this floor. Well, I've no doubt it worked, but we just don't do things like that now. Our main point, GF. What's GF? And there's another label. Yeah, oh, here we go. Too small bedroom. Wait till you see this. I mean, how old is that? That's not, I mean, why not? I mean, God knows if it was actually connected to anything. Who knows? I mean, it could well have been. That was from when the house was built. It was made of a kind of vulcanised rubber with a lifespan, incidentally, of 25 years. So if you ever see this stuff under your floors, and they stopped making it more than 25 years ago, so if you see it, get rid of it, get it replaced.
Where
are you up to, Mr. Crow?
Ralph's house.
Bit of cable. Yeah, this was this surface, well, you can hardly call it surface mount. I mean, crikey, look at the hole in the skirting board. Well, I remember Richard when he only had about 2 or 3 trays. And now look at this lot. He's had to put it all inside a unit.
Confucius, have you any words of wisdom? Confucius, he say always use PVA first in home when using plaster. And for more tips, go to Ralph's house, etc, etc, etc.
Pretty much same in there, just got to move stuff out. And this is just full of my tools. So today I will be going through all of this and taking down anything that I don't need.
So we were going to go.
We're going to go to the White Hart, will we?
Yes.
Or what about the bear?
All the shepherd and shepherdess.
Hang on a minute, what's time? What's time? Oh, we can't do that because we've got to go to Ralph's house!
Yes, shot of the broom. Got to get him in early. Feels neglected, the broom. Switched jobs for a little while. I needed to get some primer. This is the box room. I needed to get a coat of primer on. Gradually working my way around. Bit of joinery of sorts. You're thinking, what's that for? Well, I will show you. Right. If you've been watching my videos, you'll remember this front bedroom. I'm trying to get all the boards put down here now. But that is where the porch light exits. As I mentioned before, I think that's likely to be asbestos. Not a bother, but I wouldn't want to screw a light fit into that. So the idea is that will fit between the two joists. It'll have a block each end, another one on top of this one. I've had to add this other bit because there's a batten there that this asbestos is fastened to. So it's got to come up to the same height, and then I can screw it to the side, if you see what I mean. I was going to line these, but I've just decided to paint them. Fancy a cheese puff? Go on, have one. Go on. The last of these upstairs locks that I need to strip. Paint's quite thick on this one, but well, we'll see what we can do with it, and we'll bring it back in the morning and refit it. Another door handle kit. Right, put that on, and there we go. Good job.
Yankee Kilo, Tango Charlie 92. Tango Charlie 92, go ahead.
Yes, sir, make your way to Ralph's house, please. Ralph's house.
Roger that, will do.
Normally when you mix plaster, the rule is you put the water in first and add the plaster to it, but when you're mixing it little quantities like that, as long as you give it a good mix up, it'll be fine. And you want it quite stiff. If it's too wet, it will crack. But before I put that on the wall, I'm going to put a dab more PVA on it. That's that done, and that's your gym gone as well, Steve. I'll tell you what, that's pretty amazing. Look at that. Well, as they say, the best laid plans of mice and men, and I'm sure I've got that quote wrong. Perfect. Perfect. Downlight is even in. Look at that. And again. Perfect. All ready for the downlight. Perfect. As for that bulb, Phillips, what were you thinking of when you invented that thing? Gosh, it's no better than a candle. Yes, I'm sat in my car, because I'll tell you where I am. I'm here again, right? I mentioned a couple of days ago that they didn't have one of the tool station didn't have one of the items. They never have it anyway, but it's listed on the catalogue, and it'll always say, you know, it's not available in store, so you have to go in and order it or whatever. But wait for this, right? Just made me laugh so much. Big box, right? That's how it was packaged. Now, that's what I came to order. It's these 25mm cable glands. I say they're going to go in the consumer unit. It's where all the cables enter the box. Okay, right? But you got this big box and all this that I'm meant to take home with me. I mean, what's that about? And now and again people say, but we never see you, Ralph. We only see your hands and your fingers. That's right, it's the mystery. As long as you can do that. Thumbs up. And finally, the Hedgehog World Championships. Spike has been training hard for months now to win the coveted award for Britain, and only has to find one more snail to become the outright winner. A keen nose and fairly good eyesight for a hedgehog of his calibre. He's onto something. Training for hours each day and leaving international hedgehogs, lesser hedgehogs, in his wake. Spike already has 2 gold medals and could well be on to a 3rd. He just has to find this final snail, carefully hidden by the judges, of course, but he seems a little confused, perhaps overcome by the damp leaves, but this hedgehog never gives up and is clearly just a little bit nearer to finding it. But what's this? He's in the open now. Have the judges placed this snail just beyond his reach, perhaps trying to confuse him? He seems to be heading towards the fence, with many obstacles in his way, but he's focused and seems to have the scent now. Oh dear, he's coming back, sniffing as he goes, determined to home in on that elusive snail. It doesn't look good for Spike. He seems to have lost the trail entirely. Spike, have you got a comment?
Well, yes. What do you think I am? Bugger this, I'm going in. I've got to watch Ralph's house.
What do you reckon? Here we go, here come the lights. Is that cool or what? Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.